Sarah and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. Hello to the new people. I'm an ex-copywriter turned fiction writer from the UK, and today we're talking about sitting our butts down to write. Because here's the thing, November and all them writing challenges really isn't that far away. It's like 2.5 months. I do prep quite early for a few reasons, and that is going to be a future video. But the truth is, it doesn't matter how much prep work you do for your story, and that, okay, I know is more for the planners and the pantsers, but if you do not know how to sit yourself down and actually put the words to the page, it doesn't matter how much prep you do or don't do, you aren't going to hit your word goals. Now, I know sometimes it can be really hard. I have been there in the struggle. I have been writing since I was a little kid. It's something I always wanted to do, and it's something I have kept doing. And I have written professionally as well, whether it is in copy or in blogging. And even as a copy or, you know, in e-commerce, so there were days where the writing just wasn't coming. And as a blogger, there were times where just the words just weren't coming out. I know how hard it can be, and fiction is even harder. So we are going to sit down and we are going to go through the reasons you might be struggling and try and help you move past them. So first up, if you, like me, do actually write very regularly and you get a lot of words on the page every day, but suddenly you are hitting a bit of a block and it's just not coming out, my darling, I think you're probably just tired. And you need a rest. And there is nothing wrong with taking a day, even a weekend. Look, I know there's that fear of, oh, but if I walk away from my project, what if I never come back? Well, if you keep trying to force yourself to write when the words just aren't coming, you're going to start resenting what you're doing. You're going to start hating it, and you're still never going to finish it. Trust me. There is nothing wrong with a rest. Even at times when I was in a media team with other copywriters, there'd be a day or an afternoon where one of us would turn around and go, the words aren't coming out. What do I do? My boss would usually say, go make a cup of coffee, come back. If it's still not happening, I've got some admin stuff you can do that has nothing to do with writing, but we still need done. Or have you considered running the Hoover around? Because we haven't actually hoovered this floor in a while. You know, it's stuff like that. You know, go and read a book for an evening. Go and watch your favourite TV show. Go and procrastinate is what I'm saying. I think you need it. And sometimes you need permission to take a rest. This is Auntie Aurora putting her Auntie Aurora hat on and saying, go and take a rest. It's fine. I'm giving you permission. Next up, we have got, you don't have time to write, and that's why you haven't sat your butt down. You want to be a writer, but I just don't have the time. Look, you're currently sat here watching YouTube, right? You could be writing now, you know? I hate to say it. We sit there and say, I don't have the time, when we waste our hours in doom scrolling or, you know, playing video games, or if we're just sitting doing anything else that isn't necessarily very productive. Okay, sometimes we're sitting and reading and going, no, this is me getting myself ready, but then we never actually write. Look, okay, I am not perfect, and I doom scroll as well, and plenty of other channels will have talked about this as well. What I'm going to say is this: don't sit there and go, well, I've just got to stop doom scrolling, oh, but you know, it's such a big change. And look, I'm not saying quit at all. I'm saying 10 minutes. Cut 10 minutes out of your video gaming, doom scrolling, YouTube watching, whatever. 10 minutes and sit down and write. Nothing more. Doesn't have to be any more. Just that 10 minutes. You know, fit it in somewhere. It's that simple. Now, I used to complain that I didn't have the time. It was more the energy than the time. Back when I was in my last job, because I left at like 7 in the morning and I didn't get home until I'd gone 7 at night. I was just tired. But what I did start doing was actually writing on my phone on the train, like to and from work. Because it was either that, sometimes I would read a book, other times I realised I was doom scrolling and I had to stop the doom scroll. So I used to write. You know, I wrote most of a NaNoWriMo project on my phone that year, in fact. So yeah, just 10 minutes, which leads me into my next point. It's the, I can't concentrate or I can't get in the zone. We're going to start with the concentrate. And I'm going to use a meditation analogy here for this. because I meditate. Not as often as I should, because that's why I'm so stressed. But I do. And when you first start meditating, anyone who meditates regularly will tell you this. No one's expecting you to sit down for half an hour and meditate. You know, no one is expecting that, and neither should you. Because you'll suddenly sit down, okay, I'm going to relax and focus on my breathing. And hey, what was the lyric from that song from like 20 years ago that I haven't listened to since? It was the name. It was oh, and do you remember that woman in the queue who insulted your hair? 6 months ago. Oh yeah, I need to pick up a pint of milk and dog food and all these other things. That's what your brain starts doing. And it will do that sometimes when you sit down to write. And if you are struggling with that concentration, I get it. I've been there as well. Why do you think I said 10 minutes? Because 10 minutes is a lot easier. Now, I wrote a novel using the Pomodoro method once, and I was doing 25 minutes of writing to 5 minutes of not. But I don't do that anymore, but I do find things like that helpful. But I'm going to say this, don't even start with 25 minutes. Start with 10. Build it up. So when I first started writing novels, and I was doing it just for NaNoWriMo, the first one was more for fun. I didn't really want to publish or anything, but I had to learn to sit down and write large amounts a day. I was already a blogger, but I was writing short form non-fiction, very different beast. So I sat down every day and I started writing. And then a couple of years later, when I did my next Nano, I started, and it was like, okay, I'm going to write 100 words a day. My ex very encouragingly reminded me, ain't very much. Anyway, it isn't. It's true. It's a paragraph. It's a paragraph a day. At the end of the day, I had 100 words, and I usually have more. There was no like, I've hit 100 words, I can't write anymore. That was just my minimum. That was where I had to, I could quit at 100 and that was fine. Following week, I upped it to 150 because I hit 100 really easy. It's a paragraph. But at the end of the week, I had 7 paragraphs. It's great. You do 100 words a day in a couple of weeks, you can have a chapter. It's a short chapter, but it's a chapter. That's all you need. And I built it up. I did 150, then I did 200, then I did 300. And soon I was writing large amounts because I was doing small, achievable goals. Which, the whole can't concentrate, it does kind of also fit into the not hitting your goals. Because if you don't hit your goals, you get discouraged and you go, I can't do it. I always knew I couldn't do it. Small, manageable goals that you just build up incrementally. You suddenly find you can do it because, again, no one's asking you to sit down and meditate for half an hour if you've never done it before. No one's asking you to sit down and write a chapter if you've never written a novel before, or if you're not used to sitting down for longer periods of time. It's something I can do now, but it's a skill. It's a muscle that I've worked and built over time. And I think I mentioned it, getting in the zone as well. Can't get in the zone, the words aren't flowing. Look, I'll level with you, that rarely happens for me. I can write a couple of 100 words and then my mind starts to wander a bit. I can always rein it back in and carry on. This is why I write 1,000+ words a day. But also at the moment, I'm writing a fresh draft off the back of a previous draft. So I'm flitting between 2 different Word documents at the moment. So when it comes to rewrites, I don't expect to get in the zone because I'm constantly having to flick my attention between 2 things. They are related. They are the same story with the same characters. However, they are written in different ways. One is third person and the new one is first person. I have added new chapters. Those are the ones where I'll be a bit more in the zone, as it were, because, I'm just I don't have to worry about what's happening here. I can just tell this bit here. But don't have this expectation to always be in the zone. I don't think it works. I don't think it's good to have that. And finally, it's don't get bogged down in the ritual of writing. So if you look at people's writing things online, because obviously Instagram and YouTube and TikTok are very visual mediums, they make it look very aesthetic and pretty. It's I have to have this, I have to have that, and I'm doing all this little thing to mark every 100 words or whatever. And in of itself, there is nothing wrong with this, and I'm not saying there is. But if you suddenly, sorry, I've got banging again. It's the weekend. I thought I'd be okay. But see, this is partly why I say don't get bogged down in the ritual. It's also almost perfectly timed, that bang, if it picked up on the camera, because things interrupt. And if you can't have your ritual of like, oh, I sit here and I do this and I do that and I have this and I've got this special pen and I've got, you know, whatever, you suddenly have an excuse not to write. And yes, it is good to romanticize it a bit and have fun with it, because as a hobby or a profession, writing is quite lonely. We sit down at a computer for however long it takes and we're just typing away with our imaginary friends. You know, it's a lonely little path to walk. But you know, it is nice to have the cute things. Obviously, I have my little setup here. I've got like my nice artwork and things like that, and I will put music on, but I don't have a ritual. For me, it is just open the laptop and get on with it. Because when I've got drilling and banging and it's too noisy to work here, I have to go elsewhere. And I can't have that ritual of like, oh, we've got to have this scented candle, or, you know, I've got to have this little trinket thing here or whatever. It's like, no, I can pack up and be gone in a minute and go and find any, like, walk up to a coffee shop and write, and I'm still good. So yeah, you should make it fun. Do not get trapped into that, like, oh, it has to be all pretty and whatever. And no, it's just got to be done at the end of the day. So that's all I've got for you today. Now, if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. It means a lot to me. It's a massive help for the channel. If you have got something to add to the conversation, whether it is a reason not to that you've got, you know, an excuse buster for, leave that in the comments below, you know, add to the conversation. And if you want to see more of me, I talk about writing every Tuesday. Do subscribe to the channel. Again, it does massively help me out. And if you want to see my face again, that is the best way to ensure you do. And also, yes, social media. I have actually been using my TikTok and my Instagram more. It is Aurora Powling on both. Do, like, you know, go and give me a follow there as well. I post pretty much daily, if not most days. And yeah, I will see you all again in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.